And you're welcome back to The Pulse. The coalition of aggrieved customers of Menzgold is asking the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, to provide updates on how government intends to disburse some 200 million cedis locked up in the accounts of defunct gold dealership firm Menzgold. The group argues many of its members continue to die as a result of the trauma suffered due to the significant losses made and the inability of government to bring closure to the case. The group is also asking and reminding the Finance Minister to stay true to his promises of liquidating the assets of the firm to defray the cost. Fortunately, Fred Fawcett, who is the president of the Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of Menzgold, is joining us in studio for us to have a conversation. Good afternoon to you, sir. Welcome to The Pulse. I have to say Happy New Year. It's the first time seeing you this year, but it's obviously not a good time, I believe, for customers of Menzgold. Why are you reminding the Finance Minister of his promise to you?
Thank you very much. Blessed, today is exactly 3 years that the Finance Minister, in the company of the President, they went to Burma camp in a meeting with the men in uniform, the military. And he promised them that they were there are some over 200 million Ghana cedis locked up in Menzgold. And so a committee will be set up. And he promised, he made a categorical promise that they were going to use the proceeds of the assets of Menzgold to pay off the customers, the affected customers. And 3 years is today, we haven't heard anything from the Finance Minister. And we believe that he's the right person because he's in charge of the finances of the country. And the activities of Security and Exchange Commission fall directly under the supervision of the Finance Minister. So today we sent a formal letter to remind him of that promise that he made. And I can tell you that on that very day, that is the 22nd of February, as we speak, from that time to today, 175 customers have died. And we believe that if he had kept his word, if he had gone ahead to do what he promised, we believe that we would have saved these lives. Mind you, just about 3 weeks ago, Iyoko went to court for an order, asking the court to give them the permission to go and sell off some of the assets of Menzgold. And you know the reason? They said that the items are getting rotten. So that's where your concern is.
We
believe that if the Finance Minister had kept his word 3 years ago, what they are seeking to do today would have been done long ago, would have saved lives, and by now customers would have been paid.
So your fear is that even the motive for which we are saying Menzgold, the Iyoko go to court, is not even to liquidate the company and give the funds back to you, but they are concerned about the fact that all of these things are rotting away. Is that your fear? Is it the fear that the amount that you're targeting, 200 million cedis, we may not eventually raise that amount?
We are not actually targeting 200 million. In fact, these are direct quotes. These are the words that he said. In fact, it's on Class FM Online, February 2019. When you Google, you go there, is there. That is what he told the military. But if you look at the letter carefully, we copied the military because these statements were made in the presence of the military. So we have copied them that this is what the Finance Minister said. As customers, we want to know what is the state of that promise. But he used the word 200 million Ghana cedis, which is locked up.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So 3 years down the lane, what is happening?
In fact, the expectation, and I must be frank with you on this, the expectation is that, well, 3 years down the line, many of you would have forgotten by now, depending on the kind of investment you've made, forgotten about the locked up investments and life must move on. But it's staggering that you're telling us that 175 people have died. Is it as a result of the locked up investments? How do you know that really?
They are customers. But just last week, one of our leaders in Takwa was at the point of death. Around 8 p.m. in the night, 8 to 9 p.m., we had to quickly organize and go and see to his situation. He was at the point of death. In fact, if you like, I can forward to you his picture, his correct picture, and the current state that he's in. He's bedridden now on the hospital bed. And it's very, very sad. And Blessed, you see, let us stop this pretentious criminal prosecution. Just yesterday, you can check online, when they went to court with the #1 case, the lawyer for #1 is saying that just let us go because you are not ready to prosecute this gentleman. The lawyer for #1. And that's what we have been calling for. On the 17th of August 2019, we wrote a petition to the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana. And we saw through the crystal ball that this criminal prosecution isn't going to be in our interest. So suspend it. Suspend the criminal prosecution. Let's look for civil remedies to ensure that we get our monies first. And at the end of the day, you see, let me say something. Right. We are the elected. We are the electorate, right? We sent the Attorney General to go to court. Is that not the point? Right. Is that not what the democracy is about? So what you are doing is not in our interest.
Yeah, Fred, I understand.
I'm not talking about politics.
We'll get into the concern about governance and the demands of the people, but let's stick with what's on your statement. For instance, and I'm glad that you're talking about the embattled firm Menzgold itself. Yes. They pointed out in late 2021 that they were putting out a certain list of claimants, right? You've seen that list names as well. What's happened to that process? Because you were in touch with Menzgold when that process started.
Only 2 people were paid. Even those people were paid 4,000 Ghana cedis each. The rest of them, nothing happened. Like we said, it's another sham. So you can't, as a state, we cannot be sitting down watching people dying, and like a sovereign state like Ghana, this Menzgold issue, we cannot resolve it. We believe that we have the ability, we have the capacity to resolve the Menzgold issue. That is why we are human beings. That's why we are saying that let's sit around the table. For all you know, we have the keys to unlocking our money. That is why government, we are knocking at your door. Mr. Finance Minister, we are knocking at your door. Mr. Attorney General, stop the criminal prosecution. Come back home. Let's sit down and resolve the issue. It's possible that we can find answers to the monies that are locked up so that we'll be paid to save people from dying. Because in your own promise to the military, you said that government was in the process of setting up a committee. 3 years now, what is happening to that committee? 3 years now, what is happening to the assets of the company? Government froze this asset for the past 3 years. And now Yoko is saying that even some of them were getting royalties, so they've gone to court. Why don't we sit down and resolve this issue? Because the criminal prosecution is not yielding any...
And Fred, this has been the concern, the fact that ever since the start of this saga, you've been declaring sort of your unflinching support for Menzgold. It's as though you still don't believe that this was a Ponzi scheme. Is that the case?
I don't want us to go back. We are in 2020.
Because obviously you are calling on the Attorney General, and that's contained in your statement here, to suspend the criminal prosecution. So it's as though you still have some belief in the
That's not making the point. Because for 3 years, and what happened yesterday at court, the lawyer for Menzgold is calling on the state, the court, to discharge the client because he can see that government is not ready to prosecute him. In fact, could you believe that the case has not even started proper? Even the charges, the 61 charges that they put on him, it has not been crystallized as we speak. Anytime that the prosecution asks for adjournment. And you see, if we are not dealing with human lives, we would have allowed it to go. You understand? But here you are dealing with human lives. And I can tell you, Blessed, 175 people who have died, they can work to retrieve these millions of monies which are locked up in Menzgold. Do you know that? Because we are dealing with human resource here. 175 people, as compared to the amount locked up in Menzgold, if these people were to be alive, they can work to bring back this money to the state. So we have life here and we have money here. What should you do? Should we allow the Attorney General to go dancing in court? Dancing palogo in court for the past 3 years? No.
Well, the Attorney General hasn't said it's not interested in...
That is the perception. That is the perception.
So that's your suspicion. You don't have facts to back.
I'm saying that is the perception.
That because
and even
case is in court.
Yesterday, what happened in court? The lawyer is saying that scratching. You are not ready to prosecute my client. So set my client free. Because we cannot be coming to court for 3 good years whilst human lives are being lost. So it's up to us to decide. We are Ghana. It's up to us to decide that we will allow human lives to worry away whilst we keep on pretending as if we are prosecuting Namwan. That is a choice that as a nation we must make.
Right, Fred.
That is why we are calling the finance minister for an urgent meeting.
Right. It appears it's not the finance minister alone that you're concerned about. In light of this, you're also moving to Parliament because that's concerned in your statement as well.
Yes.
What are you seeking from Parliament this time around? Because you've been there on a number of occasions. What's the fresh demand?
We have petitioned Parliament and asked them that they should go into the administrative closure of Menzgold. Because we believe that looking at the law and the arrangements that were supposed to have been applied in the closure of Menzgold, we believe that something went amiss. So we have asked Parliament, we have requested Parliament to look into it. That is why even this one, we gave a reminder to Parliament that we have, because already it's like we have sent your issue to an authority, and that authority is looking into the issue. And so since this thing came out, we thought it wise that let's inform Parliament that we have also taken this move,
right,
so that they will be in the known. And like we said, we have been very consistent with it. Let's use civil remedy. In fact, the solution does not lie in criminal prosecution. The solution for unlocking our funds lies in a civil remedy and not.
Have you made attempts to reach out to the finance ministry itself to find out what's the arrangement, either in terms of making some funds available for you while government goes after the locked up investments?
Yes, that is this letter. That's this. We were there to submit the letter to the finance minister, and we are hopeful that, I mean, there's a saying that everybody is confident in his own words. So we've given the finance minister, Mr. Kenoforate's words back to him, and we believe that he trusts in his own words. This is what he said 3 years ago to the soldiers at Burma camp. So we are just reminding him of his word, of his commitment. And we believe that his words are his commitment. And so his word is him. So we are just reminding him of his word.
And Fred, there are questions about the timing of your demands. You're making the demand at a time when the finance minister just revealed to us yesterday that there's no public funds available, there's no fiscal space for government. Even we're not able to find money to pay the striking university teachers, for instance. So it tells you, it paints a picture to you about the status of the economy, and yet you are adding your fresh demands to this, reigniting the fire for government to at least make some funds available to your members. Do you have that hope or that sense that indeed government will heed your calls?
There's a mystery about human resource. He's the finance minister. We've known him for the past 5 years. There's some fresh idea somewhere that he might not have even had idea about it. Let's sit around the table. Perhaps we know that there's a pot of gold somewhere that he has not seen. Sit us around the table. We'll show you where the gold is. We'll show you where you can get money to pay us.
Oh, you'll be able to tell?
Yes, yes.
You still believe
you mark today. We are promising you. Let him come and sit down with us. We'll show him that there is this gold behind you. You are not aware that there's this resource here. We'll show him.
Finally, Fred, what's happening beyond these demands you're making?
Come again.
What will happen afterwards? I mean, if government doesn't have that meeting that you're expecting, what will be the next line of action?
We believe that government is for the people and by the people. And so if they are there because of us, I don't think they have any option than listening to us. Yes, and so, I mean, if we would stop, like your preamble, your introduction said, this thing is not going to die until we get our money. So what is beyond this request is to see to it that we are paid. That's why we are here.
Well, Fred Forson is the president of the coalition of aggrieved customers of Menzgold, sharing their concerns there with us.